With the hashtag Power of 18 and make sure to add the handle ACJ India, and you can stand the chance to win. Who does not have a Twitter account, and if so, where have you been? It's a good time as any, right, to get your Twitter account started off. I'm going to give you a moment. If you feel like tweeting something right now, go ahead. I'm also going to take a picture of the audience, guys. Yes, you in the orange. You need to smile a little more. Yeah, you. Just kidding. Big round of applause. Join me in welcoming K.R. Madhwani Singh, Head of Entertainment Partnerships at Twitter.
I always find this. Thank you so much for coming and see all your wonderful faces and talk to you a little bit more about hashtag Power of 18. So let me start with a little bit of a story. I think when we're at Twitter and we're always having conversations about what markets are important to the platform and where we should invest our focus, India always comes up as the top 5 countries in the world where we should be spending our time. And there's a reason for that, right? There is a lot of opportunity here. A few years ago, I was living and working in the US, and there's always a challenge when it comes to getting visas and applying for visas, but I managed to have a visa, believe it or not, and worked over there, and I kind of had this crisis where I said, no, I need to move back to India and work here, and took the decision to come back home. And I think it's been an amazing way we get to interact with students like yourselves. So India is a land of opportunity, I don't need to tell you that, and that there was actually an opportunity to do some research, to that research to you today and talk to you a little bit about it. Let's talk about what Twitter is. Twitter is what? Twitter social media app. News app. Right. So it's actually more people who consider a news app. That's what we like to think as well. Twitter is actually an app that you can download to tell you about what's happening in the world and what's going on. But the interesting thing about, and research has shown us that you're a typical sit back and relax kind of person. People tend to be opinionated. They tend to think about the world and think about what's going on. And frankly, they are what we like to think of as active participants in the conversation. So whether it is the newest release of a Vijay movie here in Chennai, or whether it is an IPL game or the Cricket World Cup, or whether it is a social issue like Kerala floods or Chennai floods, people are participatory in nature. So they want to talk about these issues and actually help solve some of these issues. So a mini sort of platform where it's about this is what's happening in my life. What we like to have is a look at this platform. So exciting was that people one initiative where people expressed their interest in the social cause. So there was a movement last year around Minister of you can kind of be fit and care about your health. And so he tweeted on board, and you had a variety of different. Last year, there was another, year before last, there was another movement called Ain't No Sinner saying that they didn't deserve to. So the idea is that people use the platform to express themselves and engage with the causes that really matter to them. The people. So all of you who are users of the platform are really what determine. So in when we looked into about how we use the platform. A preview on Power of 18 and some of the findings from that survey.
Young people in this country, and we would like to make some changes.
I want our education system to teach us things that actually matter.
I want to change perceptions and how women are viewed in the country.
I'd like to travel and explore the world around me freely and safely.
I want to see and vote for leaders who understand where we come from.
I want to see more diversity in the government. I am going to be voting for the first time ever, and it's exciting.
We can all change things around here by exercising that right.
The first step to changing anything is using my vote.
Using my voice.
And knowing that it counts.
इंडिया का बदलाव और फ्यूचर आपके हाथ में।
Tweet the change you want to see with hashtag power of 18.
Culture and create the change that all of us need and see around us. 34% of India's population will be between the ages, and if that is not power, then I don't really know what is. Local context, although I have now heard after hearing from your professors that almost 70% of you are not from Tamil Nadu. So there's a little bit of Tamil in this, so you may not understand it just as I don't. But RJ Balaji is someone who we find inspiring in terms of his use of the platform, and he actually just released a film not that long ago about political activism.
View about the most important topic, power of 18. Hashtag power of 18 Twitter of Mukhimana and initiative. Thank you. Youngsters to go out there and be part of the change is a big thing. And I can talk about India, country, every month, almost 1 million people turn 18. So in the local manpower, the young power of the country, elections there, programs there. So I wish Twitter all the best, and to all the boys and girls out there. But still I would like to answer some of your questions. So let me try answering some of them. Today is So first question, let's get going to the question. How would your friends describe the 18-year-old you? 18-year-old means my friends, they used to describe me as a shirt trader because college எல்லா ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் வீட்டுக்கு போய் அவங்ககிட்ட நல்ல சர்டிஃபிகேட் சில பசங்க அன்றைக்கி தான் போட்டு கொடுப்பாங்க அதனால் கோச்சு நீயே போட்டு கொடுக்கணும் நைட்டு 11 மணிக்கு அந்த சர்டிஃபிகேட். So 18-year-old Ajay Balaji was very carefree and he had no plans of doing anything in life. All I wanted to do is, my friends would say, just wanted to be in a college where there were no girls in the place. So I joined a college which became a co-ed after I joined. Otherwise the answer. So 18-year-old Balaji was carefree, not anything you see today. This is the சொல்றது நான் சொன்னேன். அப்படிதான் what comes to your mind usually when you hear the words youth empowerment. Youth 20 years முன்னாடி எப்படி இருந்ததுன்னா நிறைய அவேர்னஸ் ப்ரோக்ராம் கிரியேட் பண்ணுற விஷயமா இருந்தது. நான் படிக்கும்போது நான் காலேஜில் இருக்கும்போதுலாம் அன்றைக்கி இருக்கிற பசங்களுக்கு நிறைய அவேர்னஸ் தேவைப்பட்டுச்சு. ஸோ எய்ட்ஸ் அவேர்னஸ், என்விரான்மெண்ட் அவேர்னஸ், நிறைய ரேலிலாம் போயிருக்கோம். பட் டுடே ஐ திங்க் த யூத் இஸ் எம்பவர்ட் வித் லாட் ஆஃப் நாலேஜ். இப்போ அவங்களுக்கு எல்லாத்தையும் பற்றியும் அவேர்னஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ ஆல் தே நீட் இஸ் inspiration. So I think youth empowerment will only happen if they are inspired by something. So whole Chennai was there on roads to help each other during Chennai Blitz. So they were inspired to help. Adhe Chennai la vandu 3 months of the election there was 57% voting. So I think I don't know if they were not inspired to vote. So youth empowerment kandipa inspiration நான் டிஸ்ட்ராக்ட் ஆகிட்டேன். மூணாவது கேள்வி, how do you think the youth can shape our future? நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்னதோட I want to continue வேலை இல்லை. See, youth can shape our future எப்படி அப்படின்னா சும்மா வாயிலே பேசிட்டு இங்கே எதுவுமே நம்ம சொல்லிட்டு போகிறது போன ஜென்ரேஷன் அப்படின்னா இல்லை நல்லா அப்படியே மாற்ற முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இறங்கி போய் இந்தியாவை மாற்றி பாகிஸ்தானை திருப்பி பங்களாதேஷ் பக்கத்தில் நமக்கு வச்செல்லாம் பண்ண முடியாது. All we can do is like we can inspire more people around us and be responsible for their happiness, be responsible for their well-being. அதுதான் நம்மளால பண்ண முடியும். So every youth if we can take the responsibility of poor people, I think that will be the first step and that will be the biggest step somebody can ever do. And அது வந்து தைரியமாக வெளில போய் சொல்லுங்கள். Market your things so that it will be done by many other people. They say வலது கை கொடுக்குறது இடது கை கொடுக்குறாதுன்னு தமிழ் திங்ஸ் அது நிறைய பேர் வெளில போய் சொல்லுங்கள். அதை பார்த்து நிறைய பேர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அண்ட் அகைன் இது வந்து பவர் ஆஃப் 18 நான் ஓட்டு போட்டு என்ன ஆகிடுறது நினைக்கிறேன். வெறும் பட்டத்தில் போய் இருக்காங்க ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் ரிசர்ச் பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் போய் ஓட்டு போட்டேன். இட் மேக்ஸ் a lot of difference. ஜெய் ஹிந்த்.
Please put your hands together as we invite our panelists on stage. We're honored to have Sudarshan Ramabhadran, Senior Researcher for Soft Power India Foundation and convener Tamil Nadu Young Thinkers Forum. Let's give him a
Thank you so much for agreeing to represent your perspectives. I think that, what are you most excited about now that you are beyond 18?
My fondest memory of celebrating a birthday was the 18th birthday. It was one birthday you're waiting for all your life. The freedom attached to it, the kind of the feeling of being an adult finally, it's nothing changes overnight. No maturity hits in. Growing up suddenly feels a lot. Responsibilities come in. I think that's why my birthday started turning a little off, because I realized that now that I'm 18, I have a lot of responsibilities. I have to be responsible for everything I say. Mind me. Up until now, I was doing what would my parents think, what would they want. Now it's only about me. I think that's the fondest memory of being 18.
Basically describing what it means to adapt.
And failing it. No 18-year-old can be an adult in overnight.
I don't think adapts happens.
She enabled a lot of people when she was 18 to perform and recognize her passion or their passion. And that by itself is an honor for all of us and for Twitter to be here in this special auditorium, number one. Number two, when I was 18, the most exhilarating moment, I just thought about it yesterday when you all mailed in, was when I did it was on my bucket list to do my bungee jumping at Macau in Hong Kong. And when I was 16, I finished my first bungee jump, but I wanted to do it from Macau because it's the world's tallest, because at Bali it's from 15th floor and from Hong Kong it's from 60th floor. But I did it because it helped untap some conditioning and opened me up to express freely. And the worst part was if we didn't complete this, especially first-time voters and upwards are not aware of how our parliament functions. And therefore, of course, a lot of youth parliaments are organized in India today, but the format is such that they have a monologue where speakers come, speak and go. But we decided to redefine it a little through the forum. 7, but what next? Second, we took up right to education. Should India amend it or not? What are your views? Third, parliamentary reforms. There's been a history where the parliament has not looked at reforming itself. So when we did this, we had 300 applications coming in, but we selected 100 people, divided them into ruling, opposition and other coalition parties. And 3 days they passed 3 bills, thinking, debating and legislating on these 3 key issues. In that we one from the DG Vaishnav College itself where we hosted this and one from Trichy. And we are going to take these 3 youngsters who are top parliamentarians to Delhi. So through this one small initiative.
Arun, how have you learned from the volunteers you work with?
They make you accountable for what you've promised, right? So, in fact, what very hot outside, and then this particular guest was flown in from some place really, really far away, and then he was speaking about climate change, and the presentation read about, what CFC is, climate change, and the planet, they showed a globe and melting and everything. And then an 8th standard kid stood up and asked them, why are you doing this in an air-conditioned hall? And then that child got thrown out of the hall. So we were invited to speak. I told the organizers, you've thrown this child out, I can't participate in this anymore. I went out and I went and asked this kid, what's the problem? He's like, no, everybody's so hypocrites. I hate human beings. They all talk so much. Everybody says don't tap into foreign resources of water bottles and more, but everybody is drinking from water bottles. Everybody says diesel car is bad and then everybody is using diesel car. And he started crying. He had so much built-in anger. Then I said, would you like to volunteer with us? And of course, no shame. I just asked him, can you volunteer with us? Because this passion of his was encouraging, because I was him in school, right? And then he said, yes. And then he went on to, through college he volunteered. He's a full-time employee at EFI now. And then we still continue to work. There are people like him across him or her or across this country who actually care. And that's what actually fascinates me and keeps me going. And that's where I also don't think that age is a number. The whole hoopla about 18, I'll tell you why it's still not even, I'm not able to strike a chord with it, because as you're exploring, as you're constantly looking out for information, right, you're ever fresh and young, that's what I feel.
I think that's true.